Ghana West.
I said Ghana West in a good.
Ghana International Airlines are 7 and confirm.
You see,
Captain, you see this politics of presidential jets. Sometimes, if you listen to some of the arguments, then you understand why we are still stuck in the past. Because the mindset, and development oriented mindset, any foresight be into the future. We are still dealing with a crop of people who are still stuck in the past. They are struggling to identify themselves with where we are, and I think that is the reason why this whole thing. Now, say utia among force you young quarter presidential jet. Yen say, and na kwabrane so say oh, and young man I criticize the Akuffo Addo say na all high jet no. Young corner young copane chow because and the reality is Ghana jet no I say. So when you live in a country with people with such backward mindset, and then you begin to ask yourself, "Oh, mind your bed, because all that they are seeking to do presently, they are seeking to justify why it was necessary. Say Akuffo Addo a high private jet at a very expensive way cost at the time, because at the time, nobody was against the fact that President Akuffo Addo a high jet. If the presidential jet at the time, our problem. We didn't have a problem with that.
That's right.
The issue has to do with opting for a luxurious and the most expensive one. At the time, Ghana's economy was sinking. So it is totally outrageous for any person to seek to suggest, say, because and the far corner say at the conference, in President Mahama Kohaim, you have all commercial and NDC for Ghana for those of us who were criticized to come and apologize to Akuffo Addo just to justify. I think that is absolute nonsense, because you see, at the time President Akuffo Addo in this jet are not on them even people close to the government explanation no more the Ghanaians are being. I enter the defense minister Beka say or say president so Obedwari o say the okay say funny comments in again at the time now the average and the ordinary Ghanaian, go to our lowest in terms of the economy. At the time, now inflation and 52, 54. At the time, now cedi was priced the most worst performing currency in the world. At the time, now Moody's, Fitch, S&P, now for downgrading Ghana, commercial way into a junk status. We are no longer recognized by anybody. At the time, now your president sent the envoy to China, France, and other people to go and beg them to forgive our debt. At the time, na Ghana for mudo musika bo aban bosia eyesa DDP and merewa 4 years so mun take haircut. These are the economic realities and they prevailing at the time. So as Ghanaians, we wanted our president to live that reality by making sure that Neamana all will reflect the prevailing economic circumstances at the time. But the gentleman decided to go for the most luxurious and the most expensive jet at the time. It got to a point that the plane was parked on our tarmac and we were paying for it at the time. These are the realities. Mahama, but things have started picking up. Far corner say yes, a far corner say, and it doesn't mean say it have been taken for repairs. So the issue is a technical report to balance almost a far corner and decide we can have that conversation and buy a new jet, and I'm sure nobody will kick against that, you understand. But these people are rather bringing that argument up just to spite some of us because you criticize them say they young quarter jet now among us say or more criticize them to come and apologize to anybody. The fact of the matter is jet enters a car now you have even year of manufacturing as a form it doesn't even come in because jets and as I say you can reconstitute the jet and make it new. And that is what they've been doing. So when it comes to jet, the date of manufacture now relevant as compared to cars. And because Trump plane or Dema or Koba, one of the most luxurious planes. It was manufactured in 1991. And a Mexican company bought it first. Or we use it as a commercial airline. Or we another company called Toy, use it as a private. Trump is the third buyer. Or reconfigure, repurpose, one of the most luxurious planes. So, plane now, I call far corner, yeah, private as a science engineer for us. I reconstitute the whole thing. So, it's not always about going to buy a new jet and then as we can reconstitute, repurpose, and redesign this whole plane and make it new if we think that particular thing is not good. So, this whole argument of people should go and apologize to Akuffo Addo, I think that is absolute nonsense. People should give us a break. The fact is that you cannot do anything today retroactively to justify that nonsense and those outrageous spending at the time. No, we were privy to the economic circumstances at the time, and we wanted our president to live that reality by making sure that the Ghana for no our normal catchers here and tighten your belt. You know, they will do the same thing. And the president, has decided as a far corner my uncle behind the president Mahama Kasa behind jet and now I won't fault him. I will only fault him when Okohai expensive and luxurious. That is the problem. So it wasn't about president because the presidential jet any available. You only go for commercial or you hire.
Yeah.
So hiring wasn't the issue. It was opting for those luxurious and the most expensive. And these people haven't realized that they should apologize to Ghanaians at this time for doing those things, and that they rather flipping it on Ghanaians. Say we should rather apologize to them to justify that nonsense. No, we are not. Nobody is going to apologize to anybody because at the time the president know him that you go through the Ghana forever know him, but he decided to say on TOBia because 2 minutes when he felt say Emma and a yanti kroma na ye kwa na ye fa VAT ye fuela ye na de kumbia tuma na ye ko kroma say nsamba na Ghana for ankan fa ho. He never listened to anybody. It got to a time when my years and instructor him for some sorry because he thought that the power was going to be forever. So these are some of the things that yeah buying the co-opposition. So I think they need to set up, look at these harsh realities and accept them. So the gentleman as a force of who say yeah na backlash ya goodness. So because as an MP you are supposed to be an honorable, a dignified person. How can say nyansa when nipa befa? And the time the president was sitting at the church, yes, we are private gender. Now we MP nipa to abamana kwesa and we trust the confidence by. But you could see that the whole attempt they were hoping that Mahama so called high jet. Now you equalize no because that has always been our politics. Oh well, this NPP so yeah. So yes, then we can and we have some of these journalists on TV in as a forum and that emotional conversation as and a minimum patch on the high jet. We don't even know where that is coming from. So I think for me, there is no argument of going to buy jet or not buying jet. It is not on the table. Some people's creation because jet they said the court say report banner say or that will determine the next line of way. President Mahama Nyankan baby also kwakoto jet. So why are people pushing ahead, saying conquer way? All for political equalization as if I think that we must always look at the greater good. Now you making sure so mine are able to know we have a purpose, we have this thing I
that's it. Where can we be?
Captain, you know the NPP say send IvanKyei no. Time I MP no. I better say President Mama ahai jet ede atukwan ko Japan no. Amanfo bebre sha say
the break tragedy.
Bebre gidi.
So MP.
Oh, yeah, MP.
And now more say Parliament so as a House of Records. Just no can be is assumed to be the facts. Meanwhile now open.
Na no kre open
Wahu. Enti no menim de enti a opre no ho. Eba abonten be ka say President Mama ko hanjeta or the ide or the atukwan. De oye no na mfaso bia che dani so. Menim rush na or rush no de na opese wa TV. Ahu. But see, you see, say opposite who equalize say
Mahama so
Akohai ntino oh say ebia honorable Ablakwa ebe patchel because then time no Ablakwa you be na or na time bia no obeka ne say oh nanado Akohai jet luxurious one say but you see say IvanKyei then time ye nyina ye ni the economic condition and a work room high see. I hope na amount for enamu. To the point is say we cover ye offense domestic debt exchange. Eba say emrewafo ne enkwkwafo a basic kakra eda onoma at least nka be manage be yade kakra no. We cover sa haircut no e de buy. Enti say ne wo de buy no. Eye ade a say ye gina so e de kan asem de a. Na e che say ahokire ho. So we also expect to say wo no life will be live no ebe sinti ahoche na ewo enti adenti a so han data ne bo den sa to the point to say you can justifications na wo ankasa no spokespersons ne ayi onkrofo no be de man na entrust mu because ayi obi dia o kai say na ayi say presidential jet no Nana etnasia nkotodwe enko
na ye run na
upon we are
aha what you say Nana me dey crowd no compare Ghana ha president ababa na no shorter the shortest
I must say
so upon we are shoe crowd
Hey, the panyo. Now upon we are Gina Hoya. Now Casa, oh, 9 couple, no, another couple. What about on the shoe crowd or you the shoe and the shoe crowd the channel? Ah, Yansem.
Wow, NTN no, never say, I say, Betty, everybody no. It's neither here nor there. And then, yeah, say, Japan, President Mama, Echo, Nim Fasodia, Edibede, or Mano. Men can say, Dia, and now come to an old to not enfant Fasodia BMA. But say, yet, Naya Hochi, and I say, oh, my Etias, yes, I want you what they are. Yes, I was with me, ever fata, now say, I want you now, a war system. But womb, who need me, Uncle High Jet and a war air, the infant for him. Now, men, no matter what, accommodate me. While Brecon was some crampa hit me with a offensive domestic debt exchange. Now, all expect to say, me booming some Ediama, and I say, Memma money adi. And no, near say, President Mama Echo Hand Jet to cry in the absence of a presidential jet now, a wohona. Yancy say, Uncle Hand, ya nippo Edia Emroso. What I say, but thank God say, and no. Ye besusu ye ni nyina no a na be fi se nko no ebe kwa kofa bi atenamu no enye saa so ne tie enne ye nyina ya hu no kre na ba be dadi na be na be expect say abra kwa be pache no enne me nti se ayi asefuo se hwan no wa ba be onso ba be pache o
but we dey quick one no the NPP themselves are money consistent hwe o kind team for jo
team for jo be kan say
why na adwo so be pagya o Ghana ha Oka ba ku bia enye ntro no mkwa kope na chinu no onso wakasa bio onso wakasa bio
oye suffer or
oye den
they are not smart they are not
what is ekwasefu asa kasa bio because we raise ba ko enye no kra ye ntro Ghana fo ehu no so you know so people like this when they start talking na say omoka na wantumi akwankwanya hwehwemu a no mo twa ntro no mo de apam no mo da hyew ba onya kwa hwehwemu na hu say ye no kra pe be hu say no wate ada.
Now, I'm for discussing for some days.
It doesn't make any sense. Anyway,
and these are individuals I talk about more. Yeah, Cabrania could lie, so I could talk about man. And I could turn out channel out such falsehood and for because I was Ghana, you know, to trust and confidence, bang. And obey our institution and as a phone. I think you see people must live up to expectation. We've gotten to a time and the Parliament dignity can cry or cry in the hobium. And I can't afford those in the Parliament.
And the Oko Parliament. Now you minority for see no more. Naka se bobe nkofo be mienu pa omonimo nyam ewo ferry kakra omonimo mo sankanya asasema unya nkofo mienu.
Na no meti say ayi akwatia ayi aspirant no.
Yes.
Ole ayi bentu abama no na the opponent no lawyer no enye law sem ne be kwai no parliament won me ka say hey emra she be dwam ho no enye mra sem ne be
you hate me I hate you
well person ko parliament enti minin so ko dua banchi ho se okoye den o wo parliament won ma wo ko no o person che say enye mra sem ne ye koye no ho no hey
it's very surprising, say,
Captain.
The way a man and Kofo see a build your country, no. I said the best practices I see you seeing from home, we are not doing the same. Near the end, the politics of equalization now, and then some who NDC bar on some who no person or no, I ain't and home tono, NPP bar, no be this some who know I ain't and home tono. So the ordinary citizen suffers in the long run. It's you're wasting 8 years of another down Akuffo Addo administration. Ghana nyaso faso biya. So na we so ba the administration we are Ghana ye nya so far so bia the ordinary Ghanaian will suffer at the end. Dear pa dey betumi dey accessible. Say Ghana ye wo. Nti we dey ye ni hwe kra no. We dey oba and dey defend ye like other countries have. And
because leadership has always been reactionary. reactionary. I didn't see we are no be at TSB. Oh, what as a typical example where they see a rich hospital. Rich hospital issue I see.
Now you what the papa is you can was near the
yes, because over the years, you know, people have some of these concerns and issues. And Nisa Obiko Masa Nema we could see and Sana activity and national discourse to zoom into our hospitals. These are real challenges over the years, and Yakase. We need to improve healthcare, both personal and infrastructure. Yeah. These are conversations. So whenever this thing comes up, the whole media be at the camera na interviews way after 1 week, then we bury it, then we move to another section. What as all? I think that on minor, we need to focus and get our priorities right. Because on minor workers or move grow, on mine be anywhere grow by accident. And on my beard when Uncle Pon free to grow, there be American and as for the dada or and then Uncle Pon a better yo. And you nipa the sanina, yeah. At some point in time, a binus of pet union, a binus of pet fidran, ye kubinum, ya waman for second, and my binum adasun your moo because they wanted to go this way, binus they wanted this way and as for. But in the long run, you know, output in the dawa people are enjoying a Ghana near class, same to me corner and no camera so about heaven and so. Our man for and a building here, our mind at the people sacrifice. What are we doing here? Yeah, then it's about convenience, people cutting corners just to ensure so we are getting the way. Then as a forum. So for me, I think that nation building is a concerted effort. Obia should be involved. Now, Tanasema, BBC, now reacted to. We must always set the pace and make sure that
the Nina depending on us. But you see, Ghana, we have entrusted our votes and everything in the hands of the president. And he is the spending officer. He is the policy maker. He is whatever. No person will be or majority of parliament. Nobody can do anything to him. Because we saw Nana Akuffo Addo at the time when he had the majority in parliament. And then another person also to me. Yes, Ghana forces and pay levy. Chinchine train, papa de Beshe Ghana for corn. Emma for honorable members. Every way papers near their boss to throw near there. Our parliament. We saw that. Just because they had a majority. Ghana for say COVID-19. Nipa no dey yare ne bae kwa kodi krum kra na oni levy e wo ho no. Till now we are still paying COVID-19 levy. It took off nyema frama no ne no de ba. Bola gusu kofa de firo na de ba okrum so ba be ye ho ye a. This also to tua COVID-19. Levy ye yare ni ho no mu biem. Just because omoji sika no edi wo monum e chem omo ho ne omo ne omo plan ne omo gas no. Nti sa ka na de egumeme ne wutri so ye ne ebetua. So yeah, try to make a idea, but okay, we're not a politician or no, scanning 2 minutes kutano, so on ya, then I be. The only thing I say, you vote the person, seven man may president, be an also be in the free, but in the end, the side effect and the rippling effect is on us. And that is what we are still suffering for. That is why we are still talking about it. Because, and then, your boys, you go shoot to more bossy. Pity, boys now you could come more bossy.
Report in a way.
Report here with traffic to Sam. Dear Nanamukakope, Omukakope Sika, a piano moso, or money no more than your mumbabiti. In the end, come none time 20 cocoon, just because on your money he was protecting the interest of a foreigner. You see, and Sunday marketing kitty winner, a blue point to be, you see, and I'm a pest Sri Lanka for us, no. Boys, they will be sick, they will come after you. So that you will know, say, 2 many at the mound, you have 5 months of a bayer, and who know a bush and a cake a crabby. You share on my own will be brave, share Rwanda. Now, no, so more Rwanda, DNA, a place of war. You have a trouble, baby, and you Rwanda, Namibia, and Kenya, near the more A3 or Hofo. Go to Kenya now and see. Go to Rwanda and see. Go to all those places and see for yourself. Say, Diana, I see what no mama see and no country the developer. Yeah, that's what my yakasa. Does it mean omo superhuman? And I say omo miasa chair and I said they. Yet to me kwa bobo say free Mauritius or Mauritius, baby, you are shady. My day.
I'm sir, me fancy. I'm here, Duma. I could tell by election in 2nd September. Oh,
2nd September.
2nd September. Now, I could check your pictures, the videos, bro. Just because of elections, yɛte abobo yɛ mu ɛne pragea mu ne yɛ call rounds because ɛhɔ nom kwan nyɛ nsu atɔ ma tɛkyɛ wɔ hɔ nom na kwabena ne kɔpɛ vote ntie sɛ kwan bi a so ɔpake ne car no kɔtɛ abobo yɛ mu na ɔkɔ hɔ nom. You see the mindset of the ordinary politician to Ghanaians. Because one call on one, nipa not one who say on you and home. In any or it's not bobo ye ni pragya mu akɔ hɔ nom who say yes or join the one pa. And that is the kind of country